you know, the grind kicked in, bro. Like, you know, I'm a worker bee. And so, yeah, man, it's just basically, you know, Tony Stark getting out of the cave and going back to the office and making the Iron Man suit now. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
No doubt, bro. Let's giddy popping. Appreciate you having me.
Of course, of course. I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new record as well.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. So you just got to have a plane. I just want to address that real quick. Where are we flying from?
Man, so dog, we are coming from Orlando, Florida.
Where are you?
Yeah, man. And now we.
How's the weather? Because actually, my family and I are driving to Orlando, Florida on Saturday.
Yeah, no, the weather was perfect, bro. I was
Okay.
just telling my fans right here, like, yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna miss. We hopped out in Orlando or in Arizona. I thought it was gonna be a little warm, but it's a little warmer in Orlando.
That's
so
good.
It's like perfect. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, Florida hot. So it's
that's
perfect.
good. Yeah, we're going out to the amusement parks, taking my kids to the amusement parks out there coming because they got the off school next week. So nice. Very cool. Good to know that it's going to be nice weather. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. But right on, man. Well, are you originally from where? Michigan?
Yes, sir. Grand Rapids, Michigan, home of the great Floyd Mayweather. You feel me?
Yeah. Born and raised?
Born and raised, my brother.
What was it like growing up there?
And it was smooth. You know what I mean? It's a smooth city. It's like one of those small big cities. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not too much going on, but enough to not be bored. You know what I mean?
That's good. And how did you get into music?
Man, I went to church, bro. Yeah,
Okay.
sir. I walked into a hip hop church at the age of like 19, man. And, you know, me coming from, you know what I'm saying, where I come from, I hop in a cypher here and there. You know what I mean? Cass always asked me to rap. But I gave my life to Christ in 2010. And then after a year, I just wanted to serve the church, serve God's people. And the pastor was like, yo, how about you start rapping? So I said, bet.
Wow. I haven't heard. That's incredible. Is because you're one of the few artists that I've heard that's a hip hop Christian artist. I think it's dope, but I haven't. I mean, like, tell me about this church that you had found that was, you know, kind of a hip hop influenced church. That's awesome.
Yeah, dog. So it's in Grand Rapids to this day. I still attend. I still help lead worship. It's super dope. And yeah, I was just like, bro, a hip hop church. What is that? Yeah,
right. Man. That's what I'm saying. That's so cool.
I come from the hip hop culture, man, and it's hard to mix Jesus in there a lot with the activities that we used to do, man. And so I was real curious of what this Jesus looked like and felt like. And me, you know, a little bit about my backstory. I grew up fatherless, and my mom just addicted to substances and bad men. And so I just always was searching for identity and purpose, man. And so God is the perfect one to find that in, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sorry that was, you know, you had that, but obviously he came out on top with what you have going on now. Incredible. And how did you originally get into music? You talked about, you know, rapping once you got into the church, but prior to that, were you into music?
It was just a thing, bro. Like, yeah. So I lived in a house. So long story short, my sister was stripping, coming home, doing cocaine, sleeping with all these dudes. I ain't trying to be around that. You know what I'm saying? That's my sister. So I just left and stayed in this house with like 8 other older cats, you know what I'm saying, that was doing their thing, partying, you know, living in their mid-20s, you know what I mean? And here I am, this teenager. And so they had a studio in the basement. And they used to always just be like, yo, come down and rap, spit some, you know? And so, you know, you just spit something when they said spit something. So that's really how I really started. Just big bros who took me in their crib, had a studio in the basement, and we would just play games. They would party, sleep with women, and record music. That was our daily activity.
Okay. With that though, like, what was it like the first time they said, hey, get up there, do, you know, spit something?
Yeah, it was cool. It was nerve-wracking because I've always been a creative, you know, like I used to sketch, I still can sketch, and just always been a creative. So it was another thing of like, oh man, I just created a song, and it had a euphoric feeling to it. And so I just wanted to do it again and again and again.
Did you write out your lyrics first, or did you just go up there and kind of off the dome?
Wrote off lyrics, but that's one thing that me and my cousin used to do, man. Like when we would link up, we would just be like, yo, let's just freestyle for like 10 minutes. We'd throw a beat on and he'd go, I'd go, just for fun, man. So the tools were being sharpened looking back, you know.
Mm-hmm. And with any of those recordings from that house, did you ever like save any of that or put it out, or was it just kind
Man,
of there?
there's literally still one on YouTube today. Nobody will ever find it because they know what to search. But I got a
Sure.
song a lot, yo, where I'm cussing my head off, talking about this, talking about this craziness. So yeah.
Okay, so there's one up there, but no, yeah, it's buried. It's buried on the internet.
Buried.
Okay. Well, okay. So what makes you go into this church? What you said, 19 was when this like, happened.
You know, 19, you know, it's a pivotal age for us, you know, when we're graduating high school, going on to college, becoming young men. That's when we're finding our identity, finding our
Mm-hmm.
purpose, finding our calling, finding out, you know, what kind of stamp we gonna leave in this world. And me, you know, coming from where I come from, I want to be different. I want to change, you know, my family structure. I want to change, you know, the generational curse that's at hand, bro. And so, yeah, man, I just decided to take that step, man. Take that step, and then with the music just came with it. So well, hold on. What was your main question again?
I was just wondering, like, was there like somebody that came to you and was like, "Oh, hey, you should check this church out," or were you just like wandering about down the streets, or like, how did you find the place that originally kind of started this?
Yeah. Just people, bro. Like that's why it was like solely the Lord, because here I am, just this regular kid, you know what I'm saying, going to the YMCA hooping. And then the homie that I actually was like really good friends with, man, in high school on the varsity team. I'm talking about we went to parties together. Yeah, saying we did some craziness together. And next thing you know, I'm at the YMCA and I'm like, yo, man, what you been up to, bro? He's like, yeah, man, I gave my life to Jesus. Yeah, saying like, bro, I've been at a party where this dude got drunk and busted out a window with it, just punched the window out just to get out the house. Like he's just do crazy stuff. And so to hear this dude talking about he's living for Jesus now is just kind of weird and different. And he was a young black dude, you know what I mean, from where I come from. And so it's just like it just hit me different. And I knew him and I knew where he came from. And so he told me. And then next thing you know, another person told me, yo, you should come check out this hip hop church, man. It's popping in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why is everybody inviting me to this hip hop church? And then finally, the third time was a girl. You know what I mean? That's what always gets you. I was trying to chill with this girl, and I'm like, "What you doing tonight?" She's like, "This." Like, man, you know what? Let me stop playing. I ain't really ever been to church because, you know, I feel like when I was a kid, I walked into church and they was like, "Pick up your pants and take off your hat," and so that kind of, you know what I'm saying, rubbed me the wrong way. And so I was just in the mindset of, you know, I believe in Jesus because I don't want to go to hell. Typical American thing. And so yeah, man, when people was talking about this hip hop church, I'm like, man, I gotta see this joint. I'm trying to kick it with shorty, so let me check this mug out. And yeah, like I said, man, coming, you know, my background, searching for identity, searching for purpose, searching for something, bro. God met me where I was, man.
And once you get in there, like, you start what I'm imagining attending pretty often, and then how quickly are you, starting to, like you said at one point they asked you to rap. Yeah, not even that, but like intertwine your skills with rapping and kind of bringing that to the parish or whatever. Yeah,
most def. It was after a year, man. I wanted to get rooted, take a year to learn the foundations of what it is to not just be a Christian, but be a follower of Christ. You know what I mean? Like, what does it look like to daily live out, being in your word, praying, making disciples, fellowshipping with your brothers and sisters. So I just really surrounded myself for a year with nothing but homies from the church, surrounded my life with doing nothing but, fellowshipping with the bros, I cut out secular music for a long time until I stopped cussing. And so, yeah, man, it took a year for me to really get rooted, bro, and really know what I'm talking about. Not just pick up a pen and be like, I'm a Christian, so I'm a rap about God. You know what I mean?
right.
Nah, cause I want to know context, you know what I mean? And really be able to speak it in, and not only speak it, but just live it. And you can only live it if you really get rooted. So after a year, man, pastor was like, all right, it's time to get up off your butt, get out them pews and serve these people. So it took a year.
Did it start with like leading the worship? Is that where it started? And then from there you kind of
Yes,
how
sir.
did it turn into like recording records?
Started off with leading worship, and then we wanted to do something for the youth. And so basically we got a grant and we built a studio in the church to teach high school kids how to record music, produce music.
Wow.
Yup. And so then we had that at hand. And so basically I started living at the church, literally living at the church and recording all night. You know what I mean? So I pumped out like 3 projects as an independent artist that nobody's ever heard before. But yeah, that's when I was sleeping at the church, man, and teaching high school students how to engineer themselves.
Oh, wow. And from there, like what was the next step? I mean, you said you put out 3 records independently that no one's heard. Like, how did you get to the next level?
So as an independent artist, I did a lot of contests and I would lose every single one.
Like a rap battles, or like what kind of contest?
Yeah,
Battle of the
rap
bands?
battles, open mic contests. You know, if a rapper's coming to your city, do a contest to open up for them. I'm doing these contests, and then I got like a show the next day, getting paid, and I'm still losing all these contests. And I'm putting out like fire content for these contests, losing. And so I'm like, yo, I'm done doing contests. And then this one artist named Cannon did a fast rap contest, and me, like, that's my bread and butter, homie. I'm like, so my DJ was like, yo, you have to do this. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm done doing contests, man. I'm out here. I'm a legit artist doing shows, getting paid, but I'm losing to these nobodies nobody's heard of. I lost to a youth pastor to open up for Andy Mineo. Yeah, bro, he was garbage, but he had his whole youth vote for him. So it was
popularity contest. That makes sense.
But anyways, I was like, all right, bro, I'll do it just because my DJ's begging me to do it, and it'll probably be easy because I love to rap fast. So I do it, and I won. And an A&R from the label seen that video and signed me. So
wow.
Took me from the 9 to 5, put me on a full-time music schedule, and took me around the world. And now I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Wow. So was that when so you signed this deal, and they put you in the studio, to record what became your first record?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And what was it like putting that out? I mean, sounds like, it was life-changing, obviously. I mean, you went from a 9 to 5 to now you're full-time doing what you love to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's just, the grind kicked in, bro. Like, I'm a worker bee. And so, yeah, man, it's just basically, Tony Stark getting out of the cave and going back to the office and making the Iron Man suit now.
Yeah. And both those records got, awards, and, they did really well on Christian radio. And like, what was that like hearing, just kind of seeing that?
Yeah, like, the level up was dope, bro. Like, the level up was super dope. And I feel like, glory to God, man, it was super quick. Like, I got homies back in the city that's been grinding for, 10 plus years and hasn't been in front of as many people as or got the opportunities that I had. You know what I mean? I've only been doing this thing for like 8-9 years, you know what I mean? And it's been super successful and dope. So yeah, man, the level up is been crazy. But just consistent reminders not to get comfortable, just to keep going, keep working hard.
Yeah, you got to perform at the GMA Awards. What was that like?
Yeah, man. So that was like slightly, I felt like I could retire when I got off stage with that. You know what I mean? Like, right. One of my favorite artists is Michael Jackson, man. And with all them lights in the production, and we had a whole like dance team, and just the whole performance made me feel like, all right, I'm good. I can step away and retire now. It was that good.
Yeah, and then to get nominated for every record you've put out, that's incredible.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to go for album of the year this year, man. I feel like I can do it.
With this new record?
Yeah, with Tree.
Okay, tell me about Tree.
Yeah, man. So it's my 3rd studio album. Me being Jamaican is pronounced 3, Tree. I'm a family of 3. I got a wife and son. You know what I mean? I'm in love with the Trinity. It just all makes sense. You know what I mean? And I feel like I just live by the motto of getting rooted. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you, I took that year to get rooted, and that really paid off because I stand firm as a tree, my brethren.
I
So
like that. I
I've
like
been
that a
tested in
lot.
the valleys, bro. You know what I mean? We here, baby. We touring. We here, baby.
That's cool. That is so cool. With like for this record, was this something that's like? Tell me about where you were when COVID hit. I mean, you had a
Yeah.
record out in what 20? You had a record in 2018 or 2019, and then this happens, and then what? What are you like? Okay, now has this whole thing been swept out from under me? Like, how are you feeling at that time?
I was feeling very unemployed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shout out to good old time. We're back. You know what I mean? But no, I was very discouraged during, not discouraged, uninspired during COVID. So I didn't even write anything. My A&R had to like bug me to write. One producer had to hit me up and ask, but I just wasn't inspired, man, because my favorite part is going out and rapping to the people, like going out and preaching the gospel. That's what I'm passionate about. That's why I started. And that was taken away and I couldn't do it. So I was uninspired until my son got here. My son was born in 2021. And so, it was
wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Getting out of COVID. And so yeah, man.
So when he's born, that kind of sparked the creativity again to start writing again.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So super fortunate about that. And so yeah, now we're back doing shows. And yeah, so I think that was All Is True that I had dropped like during right out of COVID. Because we literally, the All Is True EP we made before COVID. And we needed like 2 more tracks. And that's when I got uninspired. Needed 2 more tracks, couldn't make anything until like the end. And then I cranked those out. And then we were able to put All Is True out. And so that was super cool, man. And then we moved on to Tree. Tree's been my favorite so far to work on.
Why would you say that?
Just because I got back into my element. So remember when I told you about, when I was living in that house with a bunch of dudes and they just had the studio in the basement. I remembered how I used to work. Like, obviously they would be up all night partying. So I'd be the only one up in the morning. So that's when I used to get my recording in and it would just be me. And so for the first time, it was just me in the studio. Like the label got me an Airbnb downtown. And it was just me. For all the other records, you have the producers and the co-writers in there and a studio full of people. You know what I mean?
A lot of opinions.
Opinions. And you get a little self-conscious and, I want to make weird noises and crazy ad-libs, but I feel weird if someone's sitting right next to me. And so I was able to like really be myself and dive into whatever creative bag I wanted to. So literally that's how Tree was made. Me in an Airbnb with a folder full of beats. Love it.
That's amazing. I love that. And I hope you get, man, I'm rooting for you on the album of the year at the GMAs this time around. And congratulations on the record. And I really, again, appreciate you doing this. I know you're just fresh off a plane, so
yeah,
I'll let
man,
you get some rest.
I was telling my homie, man, all I want to do today is eat and sleep. Boy, that's exactly what I'm about to do.
I got one more quick question before you grab your chicken. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Man, absolutely, dog. So aspiring artists, man, if you're listening, if you're paying attention to what we're talking about right now, I have 2 things to always remember. Stay faithful to the craft. Whatever your craft is, stay faithful to it. Think about what it means to be faithful to your partner. You know what I'm saying? You wake up looking forward to be with them, seeing them, loving them. So be like that to your craft, man. Don't go a day without talking or spending time with your craft. So be faithful to your craft. And then the second one is be obedient to God, because obviously we were all created. So we have a creator. He knows the master plan. If we get on accord with him, then we know the master plan as well. And so stay obedient to God and his calling in your life, and you'll see him take the wheel and take you up. And just stay faithful to the craft, man. Be the hardest worker in the room,
I love that. Thank you so much for doing this, Stephen. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Thank you, my brethren.
Have a great one. Enjoy your chicken.
Will do.
See you later.
Bring it backward.